guys, Jeremy here with Slime Quest. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about side imaging. I know you guys are very familiar with side imaging here, and it's a super important tool of putting more fish in the boat, learning your water, and first we're going to talk a little bit about keeping your transducer level. A lot of people don't have their transducer set completely level. When they're in the water moving is when you want your transducer level. So what you want to do is bring a level, get a nice 6-foot level, bring it out on your boat, place that baby right on the floor of your boat, and put your, in about trolling speed, or when you're searching for stuff, put about 3 miles an hour and see where the level is. If you're like a quarter bubble, when you get back to your garage, you want to jack your boat up to where you got a quarter bubble. Your front end's going to be a little higher in the water when you're moving and your motor's on and not in idle and moving. So what you want to do, get that level. Find out a good way to do is you can level it off by placing quarters or pennies underneath the level, get it nice and level, and then replicate that in your garage where your front end's a little bit up, and then level your transducer completely flush level that way. That's going to help you guys out a lot to getting the most clear picture. Now let's talk about settings. First thing you want to do, you want to go hit the view button a couple times till you're on your side imaging. What we're doing here, I like to keep mine when I'm in shallow water set about 35 foot to the left and the right. This gives me the best, cleanest picture for what I want. If I'm in deeper water, I will make that go out about 60 foot on each side. The general rule of thumb is you want to keep that about 3 times what your depth is. So if you're in 5 foot, you're going to get the clearest picture only looking about 15 foot out on each side. So keep that in mind when these guys are putting these nice pictures of these fish and structure out there. They don't have their settings on 100 foot to the left and the right, getting the best views on everything. Now let's go into the settings here, and we're going to talk about the contrast and all that stuff, and we'll see what I got mine set at, and I'm pretty dialed in on it, so this could help you guys. All right, while you're in the side imaging full screen, you're going to hit the menu button once, and right here my sensitivity is set at 16. I like a lot of sensitivity because I'm in a little stained water. What you can do is if you're in clear water, I keep it about 12. 12 is going to give you a great view on everything in clear water. I got my range set to 35 on both sides. Chart speed. Chart speed is a funny thing guys talk about. A lot of times guys are saying set your chart speed to the same speed as your boat. If you're doing 4 miles an hour when you're searching for stuff, put your chart speed to 4. That is really not the case. I like to keep my chart speed up a little bit higher. If I'm doing 3, I set it to 5. If I'm doing 5 mile an hour, I set it to 7. It's giving me the clearest picture, and it's going to give you guys the clearest picture too. Now, let's get into SI Enhance. This is going to give you guys a little bit more display on everything here. Sensitivity, 16. Contrast, 10. A lot of times I will up that 12. It gives you a little better, the best thing you guys can do is drive over a piece of structure you guys know is there. Whether it be dock pilings, a lay down. What you guys want to do is then cursor over and hit that plus button. That's going to zoom in on that structure on that side imaging, and then you can then hit the menu button and adjust your sharpnesses and contrast and all that stuff while you're looking at the object in the water, and it's going to give you the best picture you guys can, because it is going to vary a little bit. I like to keep mine around 10 or 12. My sharpness on low. I get the best quality on low. I don't know why. You think you get the best on high, but it really clutters up the screen too much when it's on high. Contour mode is off. I like to see my down imaging in between the bottom and the boat. And now, next we're going to get on the water, and we're going to show you how different things look like sand, weeds, everything on the water. So stick with us.
Alright guys, this is what your fish are going to look like. These are all fish scattered different sizes, probably carp, and actually could be a muskie right up here. And then you can see all the beds. Old bluegill beds right on the edge of this bay. Look pretty good back there guys, but that's what it's going to look like. The fish, they're going to leave little shadows behind them just like this one down here. And that was a pretty good example of what fish are going to be looking like on the unit. That was a good stack of them. We're going to turn around on them, and we're going to get a fish in the boat. Alright guys, here's one of the last remaining weed beds in this lake I want to show you while they're still here. You can see this is kind of a sandy, kind of gravelly bottom. We're getting ready to come up on some weeds here, and they're going to be on the left-hand side of this screen. Right there's the first one. You can see the little shadow behind there. And right here they are. You can see where it's starting right here. These are all weeds, and that's what they're going to look like here on your side imaging unit. Should be some fish mixed up in here, but you can make those weeds out pretty well.
That's what you guys are looking for, those weeds where you can see everything on the side imaging units. They're great. Stick with us. We're gonna put a couple in the bag. Here's some nice weeds right here, and there's a little small fish in here, probably a crappie or some kind of panfish. But and here's a tire. See that tire right here? You can see a perfect little round mark. The tire are a trash can one, and then there's some scattered stuff right over here too. Looks like maybe a piece of pipe and maybe a little clump of weeds there behind it. You guys got to get in this side imaging, guys. It puts a lot of fish in the boat. Stick with us. Let's get some in the boat.
All right, guys, now we're coming out of this rough bottom stuff into some sand. You can see the sand's really light. A little sand flat here, like a 4.5, 5 foot sand flat. A couple fish scattered up on top of the sand flat. You can see right there on the left-hand side. The reason my right side's a little bit darker is because I got my big motor tilted all the way down. And right there's a little school of fish up here. Right up in here, a little school of fish. It's a prime example of sand. See the little fish shadows there. All right, guys, here's what your bait's gonna look like right here. You can see all the little scattered white and all the little shadows behind it. That's a school of panfish or shad. Keep that in mind when you're searching for muskies on your side imaging.